Worked all week, so I need me a drink. Strong city sleep, better pack the same. Still got pants, so drinks on that. Nigga, if I cook, no, my money
birthday.
But the auntie, know I be wildin'. Them haters be watching. They make us be silent. So watch how I do it. That bread up to it. Strip, I make movies. While your shooters do it. I stun on you later. Do it, I do it. I'm chasing the paper. Do it, I do it. I'm getting the moonlight. Do it, I do it. I chill with the shooter. Do it, I do it. In the L, now move. Live right, die, live right. In the L, now move. Live right. Now we go have a good time.
You gotta get up and dance. You gotta be watching. Have you seen the video yet?
I'm in my vibe. I still got you. I rep my side. Hold up, no worries, no problems. Just and we live in effect. Y'all already know Strong on Radio. We know you heard. I'ma wait to the top like a boss. We live in effect. Y'all already know. Oh, we was yeah. I stun on you later. Do it, I do it. I'm chasing the paper. Do it, I do it. I'm getting the moolah. Do it, I do it. What's going down right now? Tune in, Strong on Radio. Live right, live right. In the air now, live right. Tonight we gon' have us a good time. Everybody know what it is up in here. Ain't nobody fighting, everybody trying to chill. I'ma make a movie, gotta put it on film. It's back to the money, it's back to the money. I stun on you later. Do it, I do it. I'm chasing the paper. Do it, I do it. I'm getting the moolah. Do it, I do it. I chill with the shooter. Do it, I do it. Hold on, live right, live wrong. I want to stay horny. Live wrong. Now we gonna have a good time. Everybody know what it is up here. Everybody know what it is up here. It's back to the money. It's back to the money.
What's up? I like that.
I was jamming in here.
I was trying to watch the video while I was jamming, and
you gotta watch it on your own time.
That was my time.
He said he wants you to pay attention to the sweatbands.
You gotta
in your privacy of your home.
Yeah.
The sweatbands. I didn't get to that video then. I was in the wrong video. Oh wait, no, I did. You said sweatpants.
Sweatpants. No, that's for the next video.
My bad, girl. Then I was on the right video.
Yeah, that's the next one. He's gonna take it to the next level.
I don't want to watch a workout video.
No, but no. It depends. It depends. Cause you know how guys be doing push-ups before they come out on Instagram so they can look.
Girl, I got something called baby oil. Do the same damn thing. Baby oil. Just
no, but if you it makes your shoulders look like.
Go like this. Girl, like that. That's all. You got it.
No one saw that.
Stop facing me. That's what you get.
That's for the people that are in here.
Exactly.
Nah, but whatever. The track was dope. You was jerking and all that. You was doing your little dance. That made me want to dance. Like, I like your energy. Like, that's what it is. Like, that's what it's all about. It's about that. Yeah, it's about that person that kind of brings it to the table and then makes you kind of want to dance with them and kind of.
You know, and I'm digging it because that song, like, we're talking about it, and he's right. A lot of these artists that are in the strip club, if there was a regular club for them to go to, their music wouldn't pass. They wouldn't be able to get it, and that's probably half the battle because the reality is that is something that could go in a strip club as well as could be commercial.
Right.
So
It can do both.
Yeah, and I guess I'm thinking about those artists.
Anytime when the girls can go like that with the butt, like
Well, the reality is when the girls dance to it, it makes you remember the song a little bit better. Like, I don't know. Some of my favorite songs are the songs that I sing the girls in the strip club.
No, the point is that trap
crazy.
music attracts pretty girls. Isn't that what it is? Pretty girls like trap? Like, that's like a hashtag now. Like, that's like a thing.
I guess for me, it's just more so the song than a performance. I'm down listening to the song, the performance. I'm like, yeah, I'm straight. And that's just how I look at it.
Right.
In the strip club.
Okay. So now that we know that Mr. Winwood Spitter is coming out with a EP, right?
Yeah.
Coming up when?
Coming up from nothing, July 4th is going down.
Oh,
Set the
Independence
summer on
Day.
fire. Yeah.
That's a
That's
nice way
fireworks
to
and the
celebrate
album
your
at the same
American
time.
patriotism.
Yeah,
Support a
also-
local Miami artist. All of you
Also,
out
I
there.
dropped my last project on the same date. I was like, you know what, let me just do it again on the same
Oh, that's
day.
pretty cool. You can make it like a thing. Make a
Yeah,
little barbecue
you know
next
what
year.
I'm
You know what I mean? You gotta make it a
So have
thing.
your rib, your
Y'all need to help
fireworks,
out
and the
that
album at
pretty
the
girl.
same time.
Y'all need to help out that pretty girls love trap music hashtag, because this is some ugly people.
Pretty girls.
Ugly girls like trap music. I'm looking. What is this?
They forgot the pretty.
Did I
They
get-
forgot the pretty.
Did I misspell it?
I can't. Okay.
He said pretty ugly.
So while we've been talking about tonight, we've gotten into the community, we've gotten into the artists, having a voice and taking their voice to the next level and really realizing what they can do as a business mogul. We now have King Kevin. He is a mentor, a power speaker, a chess coach, an author of 2 books, as I said before. One is called Courage to Believe, and it's an inspirational autobiography. The second one, your favorite.
My favorite.
7 Types of Queens, King's Desire. I got some questions for you because I was talking all about you before you got here. So I hope you got them answers. I hope
I need to know the sources behind this as well. Fact checks.
As
We
well
need to
as
understand.
The money maker.
as well as he hosts an annual Black on Black Crime Solutions panel and a CTV chess club and a mentoring program. So he's got a lot going on. And not only is he talking about it, but he lives it, and this is what his career is. His
He got
career
that
is.
Billy D voice.
He got that
ladies.
really. Look at him to her hair, girl. All right, that's what I'm talking about. Go ahead.
What's popping?
Ooh, it vibrated in here when he spoke.
When Will spoke, it vibrated too. I got you, but don't worry about that. Don't be doing him like, let me stop. Let me stop.
Go ahead, my bad. No jokes.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me, by the way. Strong on Radio, definitely in Broward County, showing love and days. It's all good.
Deerfield
Local
Buck.
love,
I'll put that up
local
there.
love.
Deerfield Buck, alumni. That's what
Oh,
I'm talking
Buck
about.
Pride,
Okay, go
baby.
ahead.
You already
Go
know
ahead.
what it is.
All right.
Past 99. What's happening?
I'm not telling my class, but it was after him. All
Keep it
right,
to
go
yourself,
ahead.
boo.
Yeah, so what would you like to know?
Well, I mean, Jess told us a whole mouthful of a whole lot of things you're working on. I mean,
Right.
I think it's impressive, and you're on a panel, and you're standing up for Black rights, and I know that you have a lot of different movements that you're working on to stop Black violence as well.
Right.
I'm sorry. I wanna
There's
know
so
how
many
you got started.
avenues that you're going into. Yeah, so
How'd you get your start? Like, how did you decide this is something that, it's like you said, there's a lot of people that talk about it. That's been the whole conversation all night. But how did you decide to actually turn it into a business, a profitable business, because it takes money to run this business and to enlighten the community? So how did you even get started?
Well, I got started because I got about 15 family and friends locked up in prison right now.
Wow.
About 7, 8 of them serving life sentences,
wow.
including my little brother. So to me, it's a lot more personal
Yeah.
than just, business. And I made a, vow to myself that I'm not going to allow their sons, because all of them got sons, not to follow in the same footsteps. So that's when I started reading. I read a book called Black on Black Violence, Black Self-Annihilation in Service of White Domination by a gentleman named Dr. Amos Wilson. So if you guys never heard that book, you want to get that. But when I read that book, I really felt convicted to doing something. And so that's when I started the first panel back in 2014. As a matter of fact, June 10th, we did our 4th annual Black on Black Crime Solutions panel in Miami at Miami-Dade College North Campus. We usually hosted it in Broward, but I wanted to form some alliances in Dade County because I couldn't take the panel to Atlanta or Chicago without making sure that I came to Miami, to let the world know that we are here. My nonprofit organization, we do have a 501c3. It's called Courage to Believe International.
Why is it international? It's not only based here in the U.S.?
I mean, worldwide view, I'm Haitian. And so, matter of fact, I just came from Haiti in November for the first time. And so what I was there for was to build the center. My mom lived in some property in Haiti, so we want to take one of the homes and turn it into a training center and teach the youth there how to play chess. And chess, you know, it stimulates the mind, it forces you to think, strategize. So most people in the black community, we don't have a strategy. We just live, you know, with the wind, you know, however the wind flows. So
I was reading up on chess because I saw that you said that, and I was reading some psychological evaluations. They said that people who play chess, it actually improves your mathematical skills. It teaches you the importance of planning and how there's consequences to your actions.
exactly.
It also teaches you how to build problem and solving abilities. And those are things that you don't really get from playing a game on, you know, on PlayStation or playing a game on your phone, or, you know, you don't get those skills anymore on the games that children play today. And chess is one of the oldest board games ever. And that does give you a fundamental also platform of how to behave better. So I think it was super impressive that you're actually doing that, and you're teaching kids that would probably never even think chess is an option because they think it's boring, you know, to actually learn something that's going to teach them something for the future.
Yeah, thanks. It actually helps the students as well plan for the future. It gives them an opportunity to think about a world outside of the hood. As a matter of fact, what we did was at the end of our program, we have a 8-week program that we do. And so at the end of the program, we took all the children, including their parents, to the Kennedy Space Center.
Oh,
And
that's
so,
nice.
so that was pretty hot. You know, we got a lot of sponsorships and donations to do that. My website is thecouragetobelieve.com. That's one of them. I have like 3 websites. So that's the nonprofit site. My personal site is kevindorival.com. Yeah.
But let's speak real quick on courage to believe. I feel like that's a very strong mantra and a very strong way of kind of, you know, living your life, or, you know, or taking a risk. So I took it that way, and I saw that that was actually your IG name. That's actually something that you guys are trying to promote. Where did you come up with the actual name for that?
You know, like Windward Spitter here, you know, I came from nothing. You know, my parents, well, my mom really, you know, my whole life is just was based on faith, really. You know, I know how it is to live without having lights on, or having water, having to steal water to take a bath and things like that. And so growing up, you know, I got into some situations, and I realized it was going to take courage to actually, you know, see my way out of the current, you know, scenario, whatever the case may be. So, for instance, you know, when I was locked up back in 2001, it was for those who are wondering, it was a robbery, an attempted robbery. It really was a burglary, but that's what they charged it. And so when I was, I spent 10 months in jail. I was able to avoid prison, but while in there, I was able to see, in Broward County main jail, I was able to see what all these young men were going through. And many of them were black, you know. Most of it, true. What, 90% of them were black.
Well, most
you know
of the
what I'm
people
saying?
incarcerated
True,
in this
and-
country are black, yeah.
Well, being in there, I know why God had me in there. It was so that I could witness what was going on. You know, so once, you know, I said, God, you allow me to get out and get my life back on track. I'm going to make a difference. And so I kept that motto, you know, courage to believe. Because sometimes, you know, life can be so harsh,
Right.
so cold that you completely lose faith. You lose hope. You know, you don't even believe in there is a God.
Where do
anything.
you find your courage?
My courage, just knowing that there's a brighter day, there's a tomorrow, the sun will rise again. Like God will bless me with another day, the sun will rise again. So that's what really, you know, sometimes you have to try to find a silver lining. And I never really realized how positive I was until I started hanging around and noticing, being conscious of how negative the people were around me. And so I had to make that change. But courage to believe, that title in itself, that was just a gift from God, to be honest with you. I'm blessed with creativity. And so another blessing is not just having creativity, but to be able to apply it to your life and, you know, to make money and support yourself.
I have a question about these 2 books.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about Courage to Believe.
Courage to Believe is like, you know, that's my baby right there. As a matter of fact, everything was given birth from that one book, you know. The first chapter is called Royal Bloodline, and talks about my family history in Haiti, like how my grandfather was a judge. And so, because I used to always ask my mom and my grandma, like, why do I feel as if, you know, I'm someone important? You know, so I didn't know my history.
A country that wasn't enslaved.
Right, I mean, those who don't know, you know.
No, your history.
They fought.
They fought.
My people was like,
wonder why I'm on when I'm on.
we can't swim, we don't want to go through.
Haitians are
They
somebody
brought
that
us
we
all the
should
way
look
here.
up
My
to.
people, my best friend Haitian, also work.
Yeah, Yeah, that first chapter, you know, I go into the Haitian Revolution, you know, being the first independent black nation in the Western Hemisphere. And what's so funny is that they promote Haiti as being the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, but in actuality, Haiti is one of the richest.
Yeah.
It's just being robbed.
Per capita, too.
You know what I'm saying? There's oil, there's billions of dollars of oil that is found.
But you know what? It's the media. The media does that because even like I remember.
Fake news?
Well, the
That's
fake,
why
you know, the
we
fake
need
news.
aggressiveness.
But even like when I was younger, I remember when we were younger, it used to be I'm like I said, Broward County, baby. It could be different places. I just remember how it was where I was. Like I remember being Haitian as a child. A lot of my friends who were Haitian never said they were Haitian until after the Fugees came out.
I don't mean to cut you off, but can you elaborate on it? Because I heard a lot of stories of young Haitian teenagers going through crazy shit. Like they used to get beat up on a
Yeah, like I'm not gonna be
Where you
real. Like it,
I'm from Boston, but my beautiful queen right here, she's from Haiti. Well, she's not from Haiti, but she Haitian. My bro right here, he's out.
well, it's
so
real.
I interact with a lot
Back
of
in the
those.
day, and I'm being 100% real, people can feel how they feel. It is what it is. These are facts, not fiction, not anything else.
Right.
But back in the day, you can attest, Pompano Middle School, it was, they had a thing called Haitian Day. And like I said, back in the day, a lot of Haitians. Until the Fugees came out, everybody that was Haitian, I thought was Bahamian, because that's what they claimed. They used to have Haitian Day, where Haitians did not come to school because they got beat up. It wasn't until the Fugees came out, and then the next year, I think it was the next year or the year when Fugees came out, it became Haitian Flag Day. Then the Haitians were like, we taking over. They like, I double dog dare you. Like seriously, it was like, I double dog dare you to come out and try to say, oh, because it used to be like little stupid stuff. Oh, you HBO Haitian body. It was just dumb stuff. Like kids are dumb, and that's what it was.
I didn't know that Haitians were getting beat up.
No, it was
definitely.
I heard about that.
It was a bad. Like I'm telling you, I live in Fort Lauderdale. They sent me to Pompano Middle for the magnet program. I got the culture shock of my life because Pompano was totally different from what I was used to, and them kids was like rough. And like I said, I never knew. As soon as the Fugees came out, though, all the people, all my Bahamian friends was like Haiti, and I see flags. I'm like, whoa! And like Haiti, like Haitian Day became Haitian Flag Day. Like they was taking over school. They was riding in school like I double dog day because it became like strength in numbers. Like they were all there. But that's what it is.
I fell in love with hip hop.
But most people, I can't attest for Miami-Dade County. I damn sure can attest for Broward County. Most people that grew up in Broward County, that's the experience they had when it came to
I heard about it. That's crazy. I just didn't know how real
Oh,
it was.
I
didn't know how real it was. My
It was
first
because
daughter
I
was
sit
out.
back now
So
and
she
talk
used to
about
tell
it.
me about a lot of that crazy. I'm like, y'all lying.
Nah,
What you
it
talking
was
about?
real.
You couldn't go to school and they just beating you up in the middle of
Like
school.
straight up,
at the
like
end of
straight up,
school.
like they knew you were
Everybody's
Haitian and they were like,
You are, what you
it
mean?
wasn't no, but it's not like everybody.
I know down here.
Yeah,
I know that's a little
for
different.
some
Down
reason,
here,
it's like your whatever your ethnic group is.
Yeah.
That's who you correlate with.
We all
That's
black,
who you're
sure.
with. It's not the color of my skin.
Cracker Day.
Yeah, they had Cracker Day.
Wow.
And that's real. No, but that's a real. They had Cracker Day. Did you go to Pompano? You went to Pompano. They had Cracker Day at Pompano. It was like
not endorse this at all.
It's Florida.
No, and this is not a racist show because I got a lot of white friends. I got a lot of white friends, and I don't deal with all that. But that's what it was. The fact is, it was Haitian Day. It was Cracker Day. He's right. That's what it was. Like the same way they beat up black people in this day.
But you know,
white people in Spanish. I mean, black people in Spanish just went in for some reason.
But you know
on
what?
the other day.
When me being I'm a transplant. I'm not from here. When I hear Haitian Day, I'm thinking there's such a huge Haitian influence here that I was like, oh, that's a celebration. I would have never thought. It was like, let me beat 'em up.
Pre-Fugees, it was almost like Haitians, for some reason, in South Florida were all of a sudden second-class citizens. I don't know why. I don't know what. I have no idea where it stemmed from. But just growing up how I grew up, it was like you didn't have the respect. Like I said, it was all that other little snide remarks. And you understand, it was all that little
I
extra
just got a
stuff.
question. I got a question. You think a country that ousted their oppressors, that they would advertise that, hey, these are people that you should look and join and respect? Or maybe they would do propaganda?
What you mean?
I mean, the only reason why I kind of disagree with that is there ain't no Haitian Day anywhere else in the United States besides Florida. You ain't find out in New York, you ain't find out North, you ain't find out West. It was the first time
it wasn't enough Haitians.
Yo, you go to Roxbury, you'll find nothing but Haitians.
You go to Roxbury, but you probably deal with more Haitians in your life coming here, and I got half of my family.
I embrace Haitian culture.
I have the most Haitians I've seen in my life.
Right. So what I'm saying is, can you imagine? You think that they wouldn't, the propaganda is not in their advantage to spill this propaganda to the next closest Haitian, great Haitian population?
I'm an outsider looking in, but to me, Haitians are the dark skinnedest people in South Florida. They're the darkest pigment of the skin. Now, I mean, you can tell me something different, but on average, Jamaicans
I know a lot of dark-skinned Dominicans.
No, I'm not saying they're not dark skinned, but if you,
and I know a lot of light-skinned Haitians. I know
when I meet a
bunch of
Haitian woman,
Haitians.
are you Haitian?
No.
Okay, when I meet a Haitian woman or a Haitian man, 8 out of 10 times they dark skinned.
Well, I know you might not see it, but my mom and her whole side of family.
Yeah.
That's
they look Dominican.
That's a Caribbean thing.
I got two
That's a Caribbean.
So I mean, so that's not. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
My uncle, my grandfather is your complexion.
That's what I'm saying. So, but I'm just bringing the fact
But they
that
speak
people
Spanish.
gotta remember that.
No, yeah.
Remember, I remember a point in time I was reading in history that if you didn't roll your tongue a certain way, they killed you. From the DR, if you were Haitian over in the DR, you could speak Spanish, but they tested you to see if you're really Dominican by rolling your tongue.
There was a dictatorship.
Going on, like,
and if you didn't roll your tongue the right way, then they could tell you weren't Dominican.
There was a dictatorship in Dominican Republic prior before the revolution that person was a very big known racist. So he killed a lot of the dark-skinned Dominicans, and then he killed every Haitian that would come into the Dominican Republic. So
and they tested him by that tongue roll.
No, he was a horrible person. I'm not saying that, but these are all facts, and this all happened in the Dominican Republic.
No, I'm not saying it's not, but I'm saying that, like, just last year, Dominican Republic was in the news for the same exact thing.
And
that's
the problem. It's not going to, hey, listen, I'm going to tell everybody, history is not going to stop repeating itself unless you put a hard stop to that shit. When you got a little kid acting up, you can preach and praise and time out about what you want them to do. But until you whoop that ass, they're not going to listen. So I feel...
It depends.
I got kids I take care of because I'm adopted. And I got my little sister I had to put through college because my father passed in 09.
No,
my mother couldn't. I ain't got no physical
I agree with you.
myself.
I tell everybody, the only thing you're born with is fear.
Yeah, that's why I put fear.
I know a lot of people want to say you're born with love, but
I know some people are like, oh, you kind of crazy, this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, when somebody says, I hear what you're saying, and they might say you're a little too aggressive, this, that, and the third, I'm not thinking about somebody that's supporting me or agreeing with me on that aspect, because not everybody can play the leadership role. That's why I truly believe there's going to be a revolution. There's going to be some shit that just changes this whole world because of where we're headed. And the role is going to be played. Who's going to play that role?
But you did just say that you can put a stop to it. Now, if you're a person who understands revolution, you know there's always going to be a revolution.
Oh, I agree.
So,
but I just think it's time for it now.
You know,
I'm
like
talking
in
about
physics,
timing-wise.
there's a statement, matter cannot be created or destroyed.
I agree.
So it's
going to be transferred. It can
I
only be
heard the
transferred.
same thing about energy.
It's the same thing. Matter and energy is the same thing.
Well, everything is energy.
Well, they look at it as the same.
So you can't control it.
Right.
I mean, you can't destroy it. You can't create it. So guess what? Revolution is always going to happen. We're always going to come to these same things.
Well, when's our time?
Now the question is, will we ever have another revolution like the Haitian Revolution? That was straight bloody, all out war.
So I'm glad we get the chance to talk about.
But what time are we in now? When we
I'm gonna give you a part. I'm gonna give you a part.
Terrorist type acts.
I'm gonna give you a part that people don't pay attention to Haitian, and even some Haitians forget. So Haitian culture, we're built from African slave trade, early African slave trade, which mostly was a lot of Africans they captured in the midst of war. So who are you capturing?
Right.
You're capturing warriors.
Yeah, warrior kings.
So now you are Mr. Chess. These are people whose mind frame are set on strategic battle. They understand mentally the science of battle. So that's why you had a.
I just wish every
and
black
you had an
person
army
had
that
type of
all,
mentality.
and that was the last time they were teaching slaves to read and write. But the French made that mistake and taught a bunch of soldiers how to read and write. So then they started to understand. The problem is with the Haitians, the Haitian culture right now is why we in the countries in the state it is. When we went into debt, the first thing we sold to pay the debt back was the school system. we closed down the school.
Let me ask you a question.
Because we felt, what happens is we understand warrior mode so much that we really believe physically we will be able to sustain that country. And that's the biggest problem.
No, you do have to evolve.
That's why I'm scared of what you're saying, because I know that's not, we've evolved past that.
If we talking about that, and I'll give you a minute to talk, do you put that onus or that responsibility on the Haitians that are from Haiti, or the Haitian Americans that know a better life in America and need to go back to their country and put what they have learned out here?
Everything you guys are mentioning is just the symptoms. The biggest problem is the fact that most of the Haitian presidents are puppets of foreign powers.
That's a lot of presidents.
Because we don't have
sovereignty. We don't have sovereignty.
No, it's not even that. Well, Haiti's probably going to give it some years. We're in a good, because now we just joined the African trade agreement. So now we can trade with Libya and all these others. So now we're going to be able to sustain because we can make money.
But isn't the government a little bit crooked in Haiti? Isn't that known?
Where is government not crooked?
I mean, most of the Caribbean islands are crooked. You know what I'm saying? So just to pinpoint saying, Haiti's crooked, I wouldn't.
No, because I'm not speaking facts. I'm not speaking facts, but I've heard that a lot of times that when money is sent there or donations, they're not distributed correctly and they're kind of doing the wrong thing with those things or the funds.
That's going on.
I've heard that, and I've heard that sometimes people are afraid to kind of participate in donations because they don't believe that it's going to the people who actually need it.
That's true.
Let me ask you this question, Diane. A lot of the times that you've heard that story, though, have you heard it from Haitian-owned or ran programs, or have you heard it from things like Blue Cross? Oh, I'm sorry, not Red whatever. The American basically institutions that when they ain't supposed to be helping. I promise you, out of all those
No, he
stories,
said something real quick. What was that again?
Clinton Foundation.
Okay, now going back.
So, all of the supposed corruption that you've heard, or the supposed mismanagement of money,
Hold on, what was that you said?
King Kevin said it.
And we wonder why she didn't win. That's what it is.
No, actually, that's the main reason why
I'm saying that's what it was.
She couldn't win Florida because she would never get
It's a
the
lot of
national.
Haitians that were just like, no, Clinton Foundation.
It's just a lot of what we deemed as either inappropriate or corruption. When you look either at the records or you follow the money or you put the face on it, it's not Haitian program. It's not Haitian, whether the oligarchy, the people in power, whatever the case may be. I'm not saying they're not doing it, but the people you really hear about that are stealing millions are the American-based or the European-based programs in Haiti.
Right, like I said before, it's run by foreign powers. Everybody is getting money.
That's why I think
out of Haiti except the Haitian people. They're not.
That's why that warrior aspect needs to come back.
Since you are doing so much and you have your not-for-profit organizations, what if a person wanted to get involved and want to start, helping and want to start doing something to make this change? Would they reach you through the Care to Believe, Courage to Believe? Where is it that a person, you obviously are so passionate, I can feel it radiating from you that this is something that you really believe in. So how does a person get involved? Because there's people that are listening right now that they're getting stirred up and they're, I want to do something. How do I become a real patriot to my background? Because we have a lot of Haitian listeners right now. How does a person get involved?
Well, there's several ways. One, there's a list that the United States certifies as, I forgot what they call it, but it's a trusted list of organizations that has gone through a strenuous background checks and making sure everything's on point, so they donate to them the money or whatever they're doing is actually happen. Me, myself, I have the energy, I have the creativity, I have the team. We just missing the finances to actually do what we want to do in Haiti. Yeah. And so that's why I went and got my 501c3, because I always had a worldwide mindset. I understand that the dilemma of black people is it's a worldwide issue. White supremacy is not just in America. It's in Haiti. It's in Ghana. It's in Sudan.
It really
it's worldwide.
It really is everywhere. Yeah.
Especially South Africa. So if someone wanted to help, go to my website, thecouragetobelieve.com, and hit me up. Email me, call me.
So now that you're working on this project, I feel like this is a different feel. 7 types of queens that kings desire. Let's take a pause for a second for what you just said right here. there is an epidemic of single women in South Florida.
Back it up, because that was my question. I had a question.
Epidemic of single women in South Florida.
Wait, before we
This
even
is a
start,
guide.
are you
guys.
married?
I'm single.
Oh. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right. So,
Yeah.
right here, I'm reading this is supposedly. I'm interpreting it as you're gonna explain to us what a man who is a king is looking for in his queen.
Well, it depends on the taste. You know, what I did with this book. First of all, let me set the premise. I started writing that book because my heart was broken.
Oh.
You know, a woman that I felt as if that was my
I
queen.
I think somebody want to nurture that heart. I'm just saying.
I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker for saying.
I'm just saying.
Hey, I
She
feel
really in tune with the story. I'm just saying. Go
I
ahead.
have like a really big heart. Like people don't think so. I really do.
We need to put on some soft music. Go ahead, put the soft music on so we can feel the like love connection. Girl, I want to feel some love connection. She all focused. You look in his eyes like you like.
That's how you do an interview. Just
You weren't doing that over there. I seen it. You were not doing
He
that.
has glasses and he's too
The
far.
glasses don't do nothing. The
James,
glasses,
first of all, James Nino scares me.
You know that
I
gangster
didn't
life.
come with that energy. He came with the energy. I didn't come with the same energy. I'm saying, son, listen up, son. You better come with that same energy when you pull up. That's what he said.
Well, with the situation, I threw away my player card and everything, and I thought she was the one, but in actuality, she wasn't.
Did you ask her?
Where's she at? I'm gonna hit her
I was
with the
going
card.
to. I was saving my
Did you
money.
buy the ring?
I was saving up to buy the ring. I was saving up to buy the ring and everything. You know,
Shit,
every
she-
check,
did
I'm
she
putting money
cheat?
aside.
She cheated.
I don't
ask
think
that
so.
man that.
No, I was gonna choke her for you. I was gonna choke her for you. He just had my heart
But
like,
check it
dang,
though,
she
check
did it
it
like that. You put up your card for this chick, and she cheated on you. What?
No.
Get him, show me. Get
Go
him.
ahead. Women don't know a good thing when they have it.
She
But
knows.
check it though.
Get that eye
The
contact
blessing
on.
behind it is, you know what I'm saying, to turn the negative to a positive, the blessing behind it is as soon as we broke up, you know, I got over the heartbreak. So many things came, you know, out of my, you know, spirit. You know, I started a chess program. I started the King Kevin show, what I was doing for a couple of years. I started writing the book, which is gonna make me rich. So I should say thank you. You know,
Hey, go ahead, Adele. Go ahead, Adele. Didn't she write her whole album because her man broke her heart? And look at her now.
Y'all know Mark Zuckerberg created Facebook and that shit off of the
To get back,
girl.
to get back at his girl.
That's a $1 billion boy right there now.
You know, anger motivates people in a way that nothing else does.
A lot.
That's true. Well, I don't think I was angry. I was more disappointed. But the thing is, I was already writing a book at the time. You know, I was writing a dating book. And so when I was doing the show, my King Kevin show that I had on, you can go to my YouTube, you'll see it. And the guest that I had on the show, the show was called 7 Types of Queens, King Desire. And so she had a real popular show. And so she received so many calls from our interview from people asking, so who is this guy? You know, what is this 7 Queens thing? And so she called me a couple of days later and said, hey, I don't know what you plan on doing with this title, but you got something in your hands. He said, pray on it, ask God what to do with it. And I did that, and eventually I just transferred the title of the book I was working on to this book.
Yeah.
Years later, here we are. And
So-
it comes out 7/7/17.
I like that. The lucky number 7.
Yes, yes.
Now, tell me what, okay, I know you're not going to read the book to us, but what is, I didn't know there was 7 different types of queens. Like, that's a lot of queens. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know, like, what is the difference? Like, what is a queen to you?
I mean, a queen to me is a woman that supplies and supports her people. You know, that's a true queen. You know, you're looking at the First Lady, Michelle Obama.
Preach.
You know what I'm saying? Doing her thing. You like Oprah Winfrey. Looking at even Princess Diana, I got on there.
But when you think of a person like Oprah Winfrey, she was never anyone's queen. She was the queen that had her man.
Right.
But she never necessarily, well, at least publicly, portrayed that, you know, she needed or she was providing for some.